to be. It's not frayed, it's not cracked. This is one of those cloth type wires. As a matter of fact, it's supposed to be yellow. You could still see that it was yellow. We'll put that aside. The drum, this is the interesting thing. The drum. This drum, in my opinion, has seen its better days. It could probably get cleaned. Let's see, and operate. Let's see if we need a drum here. The one thing about the drum that you have to be aware of is each side of this drum. On each side of the drum, it has like a little nipple, okay? And those two little round nipples go into the holes, one on each side of the frame. And those things have to be in perfect shape. They can't be nicked. They can't be slightly crushed or bitten or whatever you want to call it. They have to be perfectly smooth and round, like they were manufactured and meant to be. Now, before I go crazy with this thing, what I'm looking for is I'm looking at the drum. The drum is sitting in my fingers like this, right? So I turn it and I face it so that the little hooks, the little teeth are facing to the left or the right, doesn't matter. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at the surface of them. I'm looking right in, let me stand up and get closer. I'm looking right here in these little teeth, right where the base of the little teeth are, okay, on the hook side of the teeth. So if this is the drum, and that's the teeth are going that way, I'm looking at the tooth, not up here, but I'm looking right here, okay, right where it meets the base of the drum itself. And the reason why is because sometimes what happens is the teeth get a worn indent, like actually cuts into the surface between the base of the tooth and the drum. And when that happens, the drum it can't be used anymore because the pawl gets stuck. And it's a pain. This one happens to be good. This one was just dirty, really dirty. But I think this is a perfect specimen. The copper is good. There's no gouges. Let's clean it up. Let's see what we have here. Let's do that. Let's do this. Let's spray some cleaner on the drum so we can do like a major clean without using 500 Q-tips to do it. Oh yeah, this is a nice drum. Now a lot of guys, you know, I've seen things online and papers and opinions. Everybody has an opinion, everybody, and that's okay, you know. So it's each his own, as I always say. But you have to be careful. Some guys want to put this thing into a drill, you know, where you put a drill bit. They want to put it halfway in, and then they want to spin it, start the drill on, you know, variable speed drill on slow, I guess, and they want to hold sandpaper or whatever on one side so when it spins, it cleans it. And then they take it out and turn it around and do the other side, and I don't like to do that. This is very delicate. It gets scratched. You know, that I don't do that. I take the time to do it by hand. I do most of my stuff by hand. I use a lot of Q-tips, and I've had lots of guys tell me, you know, why do you clean trucks like that? It takes so long, blah, blah, blah. You know, I use this cleaner and that cleaner and whatever, and it takes all the grease off, and I'm sure it does. I'm sure the guys know what they're doing, and it works. I don't do that. I use WD-40, for instance, on the trucks because not only is it cleaning them, but it's a rust remover and a rust inhibitor. So when I get done with a truck, I've taken all the rust, or just about all the rust, especially if it's superficial rust, off of the truck, or whatever metal piece, a frame, or whatever it is I'm working on. And at the same time, I put a coating of WD-40 all over it. Then I just wipe it off, and it still has the coating of the WD-40, and it protects it going forward. And it doesn't take the paint off. It does not take the paint off. It's safe for paint. So that's the way I do that. Now you could already see the difference on this puppy. You could already see the difference, I think, in the video. It's already pretty clean and shiny. So what I'm going to do with this is, because it has a couple of spots that are a little stubborn. So what do? Is I think everybody has or is familiar with these things. This is what's left of my track eraser. I have a Lionel. This is a Lionel track eraser. You know, where you use it to clean the tracks. All right. What I do is I use these to clean all these things, these copper things. So I have a piece of wood here on this that holds up my table. It's a 2x4. And what I do is I use it like an eraser on the wood. And the wood cleans it from the last job I did. Cleans it enough so that I have a clean eraser. Alright. And then I take this eraser and I just lightly, very lightly, go over the drum with it. Now wait till you see this thing from what it was. Alright, this is polishing it. There's different ways of doing this. I could use emery cloth, which is superfine sandpaper, dipped in alcohol or contact cleaner, whichever, and then use that on here. But I don't have to. I don't have to, because this thing is going to come up like new. And I'm just lightly, very lightly rubbing the contact, the metal here, the copper, with this eraser. And I'm also doing the plastic where it has dirt. Cleans it all, but you don't have to gouge it. Alrighty. And we might even clean the sides of this. Since it's so easy to do, doesn't take up too much time. It's going to make my video longer, but hey, that's the way it goes. You could always fast forward, you know what I mean, the video. You don't have to watch every second of me doing the same thing. And you could see the result instead of just watching me talking. Okay, so we did both ends, not the plastic. I'm only doing the copper piece, not the plastic little nibs there that stick out. Don't do those, because if you file those down, you throw away the drum. Okay, now we're going to do the other side of this drum, because you have two sides of the drum on each side of the teeth. The teeth are in the middle, around the center of the drum. Sort of like where your belt is on your pants, you know. And we're almost done. Another few seconds. You will see this, and you'll be like, oh, Andy, hey, you did a good job. I hope. Okay. I think we got this. I think we got this really, really good. Okay. So there you go. There you go. This is now the drum that we have to use. And you could see this puppy is in really good shape. Alright. And the teeth are clean. And they are, like I said, there's no none of them have any kind of disfiguring as far as the, just want to clean the teeth a little more just to make sure I have all the whatever little dirt is in there. This doesn't look like it, but always good to be safe. Yeah, this is clean. This drum is pretty good. Matter of fact, It's as good as my new ones. Ah, boy. Alright. Now some guys just change these because they're like, hey, what the heck? You know, we're not talking lots of money here, but I don't know. I don't like to waste parts. You don't have to. Plus, I would not charge my customer, like when I do this for somebody, you know, a customer, I wouldn't charge them for a drum if I just cleaned the one that they gave me. You know, most of the time it's just kind of included. But anyway, so this is all cleaned up nice. Alright, so now we have the 2-finger connection nice and clean. We have our drum, nice, good ends on it. Yep, good ends on it. I'm going to clean this a little bit, just for the heck of it. Okay, clean this side. Okay. I'm a perfectionist, so if I see a tiny little spot, I gotta, like, bugs me. Gotta clean it. Okay, so that's done. Put that aside. Now we come to our 4 fingers. Now, what I like to do here is another kind of little trick I'll show you. This, if you don't take the plunger and the pawl out, which I very rarely do, unless it needs to be cleaned up really good. This one is in great shape. We're going to spray it in a minute. But I like to get it out of the way and stop, because otherwise it's just going to keep flipping around up and down, and it gets in the way when you're cleaning and so on. So I take a toothpick and I take the pawl and I put the toothpick through it like that, see? And it holds it, just holds it away, out of the way, and stops flopping around. Because now I'm going to work on the 4 fingers right here. This is a little bit more delicate. You'll see in here there's the round spacer. There's a round spacer underneath these teeth. Okay, it's like a little bar. Okay, and that's what holds it together once you click it in, once you close it. And there is a space between that bar and the fingers. Just like I had a space between the plate, this bottom plate, and these fingers, and I was able to put the pop stick in between the plate and the fingers so that I could clean the fingers and not bend them. I'm going to do the same thing to these 4, because there's 2 on one side and 2 on the other side, so it makes it easy. I put the pop stick. Again, you have to be careful not to bend these. You could easily bend them, and then you're throwing, you know, a new set of teeth in here, fingers. So I put this down. Now normally well, maybe I should do it, but okay, I'm going to put this down on the table. You can't really see, but what I'm doing is I'm going to insert the pop stick underneath the 2 fingers, resting it on that round bar, and then I'm going to take my Q-tip with the cleaning solution, and I'm going to clean those 2 fingers. Then I'm going to move the pop stick to the other side and do the same thing, clean those. However, as I said before, this has to be done extremely carefully, and that's the way I will do it. so that I don't bend these points. And when you do this, don't push, because you're going to catch the end of the little finger, and it's going to bend, because the cotton will catch it and it will bend. So you're putting the cotton swab in, and you're pushing. Pulling instead of pushing. You're putting the cotton swab, clean it, press it in, clean it, put it above, clean it. Don't put it on and push. Very important. You're basically just stroking it toward you. Now I'm going to do the other side. It doesn't really take much to do this. And now, just for the heck of it, I'm going to take my contact cleaner. Get over here, you. Move this closer. Okay, I'm going to take my contact cleaner, and I'm going to, oops, wait a minute. Put it on the paper towel. Put that contact cleaner in there. Polish it up nicely. Now, like I said, a lot of guys will just replace these. If I don't think you have to, I won't. I don't see, wasting parts for no reason. Okay, now I'm cleaning the actual frame, which is the hole where the pawl goes in. That's what I'm cleaning right now. And I'm cleaning the side rods where the pawl goes up and down. It has a little shaft there that slides up and down. I'm cleaning that. And I know it's hard to see any of this, but trust me, that's what I'm doing. Clean off the sides of the frame. This one was pretty clean. No rust. Okay, I'm going to take this out. Now we're going to pull the pawl down, and we're going to shoot it. With the cleaner. Get a new Q-tip. Remember, it was working perfectly, really well. So we're not really fixing it, we're just cleaning it. Make sure while we're doing this not to disturb or bend those fingers. They're in perfect alignment, those things. Okay, and you could basically tell, if they're in alignment or not, or if they're in good position, because they're only I would say, Jesus, maybe a 1/16 of an inch away from the hole, the center hole. So that's definitely going to hit the drum when we put it in there. We actually have to push the drum against the fingers to get it in. Okay, so now we're in good shape. We're going to clean the inside of the frame. Again, be careful not to mess up those fingers. Stay clear of them. We're going to clean that little round bar that I was telling you about before. Make sure that's clean, nice and clean. Okay. And there's like no dirt coming off. You could see it's really clean. So, okay. So now, putting this together, now we have fun. Now we start the fun. Okay, we take these, straighten these wires out a little bit. We'll take the pawl again, and we will pull it back, put our toothpick in there a little bit, just to hold it in place. So now you don't want to bend it. You're not bending the pawl or anything. You're not putting a lot of pressure on it. It fits tightly enough with a toothpick so that you're not bending anything, and it serves the purpose. Now when you put this back in, let's see, you have to put the drum back in so that the teeth are facing down. So here's the E unit, right? Here's the E unit sitting straight up. Now if you have to put this drum in here so that the teeth are facing downward. If they're facing upward, when the pawl comes down, there's no hook, there's no tooth to pull. All right? So the teeth have to be, you have to make sure you put the drum in properly so that the teeth are curved to the back toward the hook of the pawl. Okay? All right. That's important because otherwise it doesn't work at all. So now this becomes a little bit of a not so easy, but we're going to attempt to do this. Normally I practice my vocabulary when I do this, if you know what I mean. And since I'm on video, I can't do that. You have to be extremely careful